Hello out there in Bensalem land. This is in particular for individuals on the patch who've been making some rather false accusations towards me. I wanted to clear a few things up because apparently there are people out there who think that I've got hatred in my heart towards this town and everybody in it. And nothing could be further from the truth. That's not my style and never will be. But you guys need to hear the truth. And that's why I'm posting this. Number one, contrary to certain popular opinions, I do not hate anyone. I do not hate Horan, Ponticelli, the township, the EMS, most of the fire company, and or the mayor. I practice something what's called loving the sinner yet hating the sin. In other words, I don't like what they're doing. And if that makes me hateful, then I think you guys don't have a very big hold on reality. You see, as I said again, I separate the sin from the sinner. And I pray every day for their salvation. That's something that's first and foremost on my mind. I'm praying that they stop doing the evil that they're doing before they do wind up in jail. Also, I happen to have the utmost respect for first responders. I especially have the highest respect for honorable first responders. People who show honor and integrity both on and off the job. What do you mean by that? Well, I'll explain. Someone who doesn't abuse their position, does not think they're above the law, who treats everybody, minorities, women, children, with respect, and they also practice that same thing in their own homes. In other words, they're respectful and faithful to their spouses and significant others, and they don't disrespect them by having them take part in things that are immoral. I think you know what I'm talking about, Haman and Nabal. Now, as for other accusations, like I supposedly don't like helping the needy, that's a bunch of bull. I'll be honest right now. My husband and I are having it rough. I know everybody out there is having it rough. So I don't consider myself anything special. I mean, there are people like me who have been 2 years or more without a job, can't find anything, has put in everywhere and anywhere and has not heard one thing back, which kind of sucks. But I don't sit and mope about it. I do have a life. I do get out whenever possible. Just so people know, I have a physical disability. It's the result of pretty much 2 different accidents. One in a train station parking lot where I fell, fractured my ankle, and busted up my knee. That's right ankle and right knee. And then it got worse in 2008 when I was hit by a car. I've been told that I have what's called spondylitis and degenerative disc disease in both neck and back. I spend certain days feeling like a Barbie doll being yanked in all directions, which is loads of fun. So I don't get out every day, but I try to get out as much as possible. If any of you cared to be a solution to the problem, you are more than welcome to. But I do still try to give whatever way possible. If I can't give financially, I try to give of my time in some way. That's how I've always been. So contrary to popular opinion, I care very much about the needy. Because I know what it's like to have nothing. I've been there. Growing up, I had practically nothing. I can recall days where you sit down to dinner and all there is oatmeal for dinner. Sometimes nothing. But as a born-again Christian, as someone who's saved and loves the Lord, I also rest in the knowledge of Philippians 4:19. But my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. I have seen needs met in my family whenever we're at the lowest point. I can even recall a really awesome Christmas miracle that really helped me put into perspective what Christmas was about. And I was only about 8. And it still sticks with me. When I give, because of these things, because kindnesses were shown to my family in a genuine fashion, my family practices those same kindnesses. And one of our favorite things to do is we do things anonymously. That's how I do it. That's how I get the most satisfaction. When I do something charitable or to help others, I don't do it to make a public spectacle of myself and say, here I am. That's why I think you guys have turned this whole thing of Holiday Heart of a Community and this dodgeball tournament, it's nothing more than a publicity stunt because you guys are trying to make yourselves look good. And I hope that gets through to you, Heyman and Nabal. And thumbs up. By the way, I know one of two things concerning you. Either A, you're a cop, or B, you're related to one. I could tell by the singing praises of Haran and everybody. There are things I know about Haran that I was informed of by quite a few little birdies that I could say on here, but I won't. That's how nice I'm being. And you see, that's why I care. That's why I take the time to reach out. That's why I take the time to have this site so that I can tell the truth. Now, I don't care if you believe it or not. That's your deal. But as I was saying, too, when it comes to this whole thing, I find, not that I hate dodgeball, I think dodgeball is lame. It went out with junior high. I think you could think of better ways to raise money for the needy. And while we're at it, the needy are around 365 days a year, guys. Not just during Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, that's my other issue. Because you want to make a big show for yourself, want to make yourself look good, especially after what I consider to be illegal things that you've done lately to union individuals there and to certain other individuals that were on the police force. You know who they are, Heyman. Also, as I've said before, with dodgeball or any of this, there's better ways to be able to raise money. I mentioned them, and I'm surprised nobody responded to it. I guess maybe they make sense. You know, you could do some type of indoor carnival. JRM in particular said in the patch, how about a dunk tank? I think some type of indoor carnival where you had that, a booth for a pie in the puss. Hey, I'd volunteer for that one. Go ahead and throw a pie in my face. See what I care. Also, there could be other things, too, that can be done, and all the money could go towards this. You know, how about hooking up with the Salvation Army and doing Adopt a Family? You could adopt a whole bunch of families. My issue with this is that you've made it into a publicity stunt and you're trying to make yourself look good. You're basically acting like a Pharisee, being proud and boastful in public about all that you're doing. Nobody wants to know that. Now, I'm issuing a personal challenge here. And anybody can take me up on this. I basically challenge you guys to continue this holiday heart of a community, but make it 365 days year-round. Because the needy aren't just around at Thanksgiving and Christmas. They're everywhere, at any time. And when you do it, don't have news cameras with you. As I said before, too, I'd be more than happy to come up this Saturday. I want to. However, right now, a very major emergency came up. And if you want to know more about it, you can go on Philadelphia Biblical University's website. To kind of make a long story short, a dear friend of mine who's a music professor was hit by a car. And from what I've heard right now, one of the first brain tests they've done on him didn't go very well. All I'm saying is that when you do these things, do it with pure motives. That's all. And if you are, great. But please do me a favor, don't bring cameras and don't drag people into it. Ta-ta.